Hello, we are about to start workshop 4. Hard to believe that we're already past the mid mark for this course and we're starting in the second half. Time flying when you're having fun. I hope that you're enjoying the materials and finding it to be helpful to you. Um, in workshop 4, let's start with the devotion. And the devotion this week is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 3, one verse. But it's a beautiful verse. And the scripture says here, let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. What a beautiful verse. Imagine if everyone of us and everyone around us is applying this verse in our life. When you think about what we do, all of us as healthcare administrators, we are trustworthy people. A lot of uh, uh, people, God's people, the patients come to our institutions for healing, seeking treatment and healing, and they trust us to take good care of them. They trust us with the care. They trust us with their information, their records, and everything. In our society, people move from job to job, from restaurant to restaurant, from town to town, from place to place. And most of us carry our loyalty with us from one place to the other. Let's talk about jobs in specific. When we move from one healthcare institution to another, it does happen frequently. We carry our loyalty to the people that we worked with, the organization we did hold position with for years, and we also start to build loyalty for their new place. And with that, our loyalty is moving with us wherever we go. When we talk about protecting health information for the patient that we're caring for, we also protected no matter where we're at and which job we're holding. People trusted us for to maintain the records, to keep it confidential, and we do our best to keep it protected in everything that we do. That's why HIPAA and HITECH Act are big things in our life and in our work and everything that we do, because we want to continue to protect these things for our, or these records, or these treasures, confidential information for the patient whom we care for. So if everything that we do, we continue to do that, let love and faithfulness never leave us, and to bind them around our neck and write them on the tablets of our hearts, imagine what the place we live in would be like. It would be a beautiful place, it would be heaven on earth. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to start living the heavenly kingdom on earth here before we leave this earth and move on to the heavenly glory to live with Jesus for eternity. In week workshop 4, we're going to cover two chapters, chapter 6 and 7. Chapter 6 talks about the HIT, Health Information Technology, architecture and infrastructure. We're going to learn about the hardware and the software. The hardware is the computers we're using, whether it's desktop or laptop or tablets, any computing device. How does it work? What's inside this computer? You're going to learn that what's inside is the arithmetic or logic unit, ALU, control unit, the registers. You're going to learn about storage inside the device and how you have a primary storage and secondary storage. And you're going to learn that we do input of information in the computers and we get output. Everything that we're entering for patient information, it's forming a medical records for the patient. And when needed, we can get that medical record out of that device. And it's not just typing and text and or speech recognition, also images and audio. everything that we put into the computer is saved and will become part of the record that we can get in an output option out of the computer. Images like X-rays and ultrasounds, CAT scans, and you name it. And audio, whether it's voice audio notes or when you're transcribing into the system, it converted into text and saving in the notes and many other options. So talking about memories, you're going to learn about ROM, read-only memory. You're going to learn about RAM or RAM, random access memory, and cache memory. And of course, you know already by now as a computer user that the higher the RAM is, random access memory, the faster the computer will be. Of course, it's in conjunction with the type of processor for that computer. Then that's your primary storage, these memories, and then you have secondary storage, which is where the information is saved. And secondary storage can be many types. The hard drive inside the computer could be a magnetic tape, magnetic disk, optical laser card. It could be a smart card on the device, a portable hard drive attached to the computer, USB flash drive, etc., etc. And in today's world, cloud is another option for saving a lot of information in the cloud. Like if you are saving everything not on the computer but on your OneDrive, that's saved in the cloud. In this chapter, you're going to learn a lot about disaster recovery. And especially when you get into the part at the end of the class that you will take the midterm or midterm quiz. It will give you a link for 2 videos to watch, and you're going to learn a lot about disaster recovery or DR. And you're going to learn 2 things. Business continuity access, meaning what happens when we lose our system? How are we going to continue our patient care? And that's your business continuity access. And then business continuity plan, how to recover our systems to bring life back to normal. Past the hardware piece, you're going to learn also a lot about computer software, from operating system that's running the computer. Most of us probably are running Windows 10 on our computers. Some people use Mac, iOS operating system, but most healthcare organizations use Windows and running Windows 10. When it comes to software, like Office and everything else that we use, including medical records and everything in between, make sure that we have a legal copy. It's something that my organization did buy, and everything that we have installed on the computers are a legal copy, and it's not something that we are violating any license rights or anything like that. When we upgrade our software systems, we have to make sure that we read the release notes and understand how that upgrade or update is changing our system, especially when it comes to system security. We have a lot of application software, health information technology is considered software that you're running, Office, as I mentioned, any application specific software like what HR run for the people, and a lot of softwares these days are application service provider. It used to be called application service provider or ASP. Now the new trend or the new names are software as a service or SaaS, meaning it's software that the vendor provides. You can just access it on the internet. You don't need to install something on your computer. You can access on the internet and do everything that you need to do. Then you're going to also talk about network and communication. What's our network that we're running in our organizations? LAN, WAN, MAN, those are the local area network, or LAN, wide area network, or WAN, metropolitan area network, or MAN. Those are different kinds of network. You're going to learn about the difference between the wired and wireless network. Years ago, wired network used to be much faster than the wireless, but in today's world, And with the wireless technology we have, our wireless devices running as fast as the wired devices in our organizations. We're going to learn a lot about different network type and styles and network topology and different kinds of topology and what are the components of the network, like the transmission media, the wired media, the fiber optic media, radio media, transmitter, receiver, network interface controller, or NIC card. Any device that you plug in a network cable to must have that NIC or network interface card. Modems used to be a big thing in the past. Now it's going away. Multiplexers, bridges, gateways, routers. We use routers at home probably to have internet or network built in our homes, network controller server, and network operating system or software that's running the network. You're going to learn about all those things in this chapter, as well as different network topology, the bus network, the ring network, and star network topology. And then network can be a hybrid, which is a combination of these, more than one of these topologies or kinds. It can be a combination of few things. Those are mostly, and then wireless, mobile computing is going to be also covered in this chapter, and how mobile computing is becoming a big part of our healthcare ministry and healthcare work that we do in our organizations. We're counting on mobile devices a lot these days, whether it's physicians or nurses or caregivers, we're all counting on these mobile devices to take care of patients. Finally, you will probably cover a few things on the internet connection and the internet service providers that provide us with the network for internet service. And we have some different variations that we use in our organizations. Fiber network is the best thing, most reliable for large organizations that we all work for. But then we have smaller locations, physician offices, small building here or there that we can get fiber to. We use different things like T1 line, T3 line. In some rural areas, we're still using the older technology of DSL or digital subscriber line, whatever we can get our hands to make sure that we have internet connection in these locations. Finally, website hosting and how all of us need to host certain things with website hosting services. We have many kinds of, or many companies that host information. Bluehost is an example, GoDaddy is an example, and many other. You can search that, and there's too many companies do host information online. And that's chapter 6. And then moving on to chapter 7, we will cover the IT service management. Historically, IT was known to be reactive to situations. I am talking years ago, before the era of converting to electronic medical record. IT used to be there, and when something go down, you call them and they come and fix it. And we always were in a reactive mode. With converting everything into electronic medical records and digital um, work environment, we can no longer operate that way. So we started to look into ways to make it proactive, delivering IT as a service to all of you, the caregivers out there, to give you what you need to be able to take care of our patients. Unplanned work can lead to product failure, release failure, and human errors and user errors. So we can no longer do these unplanned downtime like we used to in the past, and everything has to be on a maintenance schedule and planned downtime. So people know that they will need to initiate their DR plan and manual downtime before we take any system down for maintenance. One of the main goals of the IT departments in any organization these days is process improvement and putting the framework for our IT service. When we talk about frameworks, there are certain kinds out there. Something called a capability maturity model, or CMM, something called a COBIT, or controlled object for information technology, something called international standards, IOS, and you probably heard that before, especially ISO 9000. And finally, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, or ITIL. And that seems to be the one that's working most for healthcare organizations, the ITIL. I'm going to put a link for a video on YouTube that will help explain what is ITIL, what it's all about, and how we're putting that to work in our healthcare ministries. ITIL will tell us that any service we offer have a life cycle, and that life cycle is 5 stages. We need to define service strategy. We need to build a service design. We need to have a service transition from strategy and building to take it to life. Then we need to have service operation, putting it to work, and we know how we're going to support it. Finally, stage 5, which is not a stage at the end, but it's like a circle around the other 4. Continual service improvement. Every stage of the other 4 that we do, we cannot just do it once and leave it at that. We need to constantly work on making it better. And that's the 5th one, which is our service improvement opportunities. ITIL is going to talk to you about many things we need to keep in mind. We'll split it into 2 categories: IT service support, and the other category is IT service delivery. And the service support, you will learn about the service desk, incident management, problem management, change management, release management, and configuration management. And you go through the details for each one of these through your reading for chapter 7. And then in the IT service delivery, you're going to learn about what is service level management, what is availability management, what is capacity management, what's financial management, and what is that service continuity management that I mentioned. It's continuing on around the other 4 stages, and it's never ending. Always trying to make things better. There are 2 discussions and quiz that you'll be doing at the end of this workshop. The first discussion will be asking you to identify some process improvement framework that are applicable to the HIT system in your workplace. And then the second discussion will be talking to you about the difference between system that's integrated or systems that interface, and how the new era of medical records being exchanged between organizations, how did it help in developing our network that we use in our workplaces, not only within our organizations, but with the outside world as well. Now, let me focus on the midterm quiz because it's 100 points, but they should be easy 100 points. Here's what you need to keep in mind when you study for it. You're going to have 10 questions starting with the statement in the video. So when you watch the 2 videos that you have linked for in the midterm quiz instructions, please watch carefully, thoroughly, and take notes, because there's a lot of 10 questions we'll be asking about things that you've seen in the video. Then other questions will be focused on business continuity plan, disaster recovery, HIT steering committee, the CIO. It's all stuff that we covered in the previous sessions. The CIO, the importance of standardized hardware and software. What are the benefits of standardization, and what happens if you don't standardize software and hardware? Data backup plan, data recovery, service continuity management, disaster recovery plan, and business impact analysis. All these will be questions in the midterm quiz, but I'm sure you will all do great in it. And if you have any questions about anything in workshop 7, you know where to find me. God willing, tomorrow, Tuesday, May 4th, I'll hold the open office hour. You should have the meeting with the Zoom link on your calendar. If you don't, just email me and I'll be glad to send it again to you. And then that will be starting at 7 o'clock to 7:30. And between 7:30 to 8:40 p.m., we'll be holding the two discussions for the two workshops for live discussion for those who wish to join. Otherwise, you can just submit your responses online. Thank you. Have a blessed week. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.